Welcome back to Garage 31. Today I'm going to show you how to bleed your Shimano mountain bike brakes. Okay, just to service your brakes, bleed your brakes, you're going to need quite an array of tools. Various Allen keys, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, maybe even a 6 to remove your wheel. For Shimano brakes, you'll need a 7 millimeter wrench. Shimano bleed kit. So we have mineral oil. Shimano brakes use mineral oil. Don't want to mix that up with dot fluid. See, it's dot 5.1 there. This is for SRAM brakes and some other brands. They're not compatible, so do not use them or do not interchange them. Put that aside so we don't use it. We have our Shimano bleed syringe, bleed cup, plunger, stand here. May need a pick or some kind of pokey device. This is going to be our stuff to service our caliper. So we've got some needle nose pliers, a small flat blade screwdriver, Q-tip. Now the pliers are for moving the pistons back. If you're not comfortable using steel pliers, then you can use a tire lever. It's going to do the same kind of job. Now for our kind of chemicals, we got some bike cleaner, a kind of disc brake parts cleaner, some general maintenance spray. This WD-40, I'm sure everyone's got that. Blue paper towel, and then a clean microfiber towel just for cleaning. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is remove the rear wheel. This pivot here, 6 mil Allen key, go in there. Easiest if we put the gears into the hardest gear. Move the clutch, align axle. Pull the axle out. Derailleur you can push down. There we go, wheels out. Okay, so this is your brake lever here. Your dial adjust for the position of the lever. This whole assembly here is called your master cylinder. There's a piston inside here which pushes the fluid down the line. Bleed port screw, so we're going to need to take that off. This screw is to hold the whole assembly on to the handlebar. And this, I run my brakes opposite probably what you guys do. This is my left brake, but this is actually my rear brake. Whereas most Canadians and people from North America will run this as their front brake. So this is opposite on mine. So just bear that in mind. Your hose comes out, comes down into your frame. And this pivot here comes out the side, runs up to your caliper. And these higher end brakes, like the XTs, they have this is a banjo fitting, which is pressed onto the end of the hose. And this bolt here allows you to move the line up or down depending on what kind of bike you have. This is the brake caliper. Pads on the inside. Get that to focus, there we go. Pistons, this is a 4-piston brake, so there's piston here, 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 and here. This is your brake pad pin. Cheaper models won't have this pin. It will just be a cotter pin that's got bent arms to stop it coming out. This is just a safety clip retainer, just in case this pin was to come loose. Then you have your caliper bleed port here, and just the cover for it. And you kind of see the fittings on there. That's where the hose is going to go on, and we're going to extract the fluid from. Okay, so we made the master cylinder here a little bit more level. Kind of see that angle there. It's really just to keep the fluid in the bowl here from spilling out over the ground. Next step, go to the caliper. We're going to remove the brake pad, so we're going to take this pin out. Just pops out. Kind of see the waffle shape on it there. And then this particular one's a 3mm. If you're running XTRs, then it will be a flat blade screwdriver. If you're not running any of those XTR, running the more entry level brakes, you'll have to bend the cotter pin arms back. It's pretty soft, and then pull the cotter pin out to be able to remove the brake pad. So I'm just going to take a 3mm Allen key in this particular one, just there, and then remove that pin. There we go. So pin removed. Pads are still in there because there's a spring which keeps them under tension. And then we can just remove the pads from the top or from the bottom on these brakes. These are 4-piston ones, so the pads themselves are fairly large. See how dirty and grimy they are though. So we'll clean those up. And there you go. So now you can see the pistons there, the white parts inside the caliper. They'll need to be serviced too, in the piston service in the second video, so just keep an eye out for that. Now, a brake bleed is not really just bleeding the brake. We have to service the whole brake system. Before we can service it, we've got to clean it. So we're going to take my cleaner, I'm going to spray caliper down. And I'm going to spray the master cylinder too. It's pretty clean already because I just cleaned my bike, but it's an example. Then we're going to take the rag that we were using earlier, start to wipe off all the dirt, including the inside, because that's really important to get all that grime away. And you can do that by threading your microfiber towel inside and then pulling it through from the bottom and cleaning it out that way. There we go. And I can essentially floss the inside of the caliper. Let me show you how much dirt comes out from here. Okay, that's how much dirt was just inside the caliper. Crazy amount for just a small space there. Really important to get this removed though. Okay, so the caliper's all cleaned. We'll clean the hose. And we can visually inspect the hose to make sure there's no nicks or cuts in it. Check this one down here. Feels fine. So that's good. Out of the frame up here. That feels good too. And then we'll just wipe down master cylinder. Because if you do this when the brake's all dirty, you risk getting dirt inside the brake system, which essentially defeats the whole point of servicing your brakes if you just contaminate them even more. So there we go, all clean. So now we can start bleeding.